Hello everybody. Welcome to Thrifty Thursday. Welcome to my channel, Chalking Up the Walls. You're in my craft room, so welcome. Hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday. I have what I think is going to be kind of a fun idea. I'm going to show you one, but what I really like about this is I think you could obviously like duplicate it to make a bunch of these. So first of all, let me show you a couple of our finds while I'm getting things set up here. So this almost reminds me of like the old school like milk jars, you know? I mean, obviously it's small, not like a huge one, but that's kind of the shape that it gave me, but it's also like perfect size, like for a little flower vase. We're not gonna be putting flowers in it, but we are gonna decorate it up. So I got this at my local thrift shop for 50 cents. And it is it's nice glass. So I just took my heat tool that I used to dry some of my paints and stuff with and just quickly run that over where the sticker is. Makes it so much easier. Like you heat up that adhesive on the back of the sticker and it just makes it peel off and you don't get all that smudging and whatnot on the back of it. And now we have a clean vase, which we are going to paint. So let me start doing that while I talk to you guys about the rest of this. So I think I've decided I want to paint the base of it in this green. So I'm going for like a summery kind of a vibe. I'll get one of my paint trays out here. Going for kind of a summery vibe, and my inspiration is kind of like not exactly like a watermelon, but kind of like that type of like, you know, the pink and the, like a vibrant one, right? So the pinks and the greens. I like to decorate in the summertime with, you know, the bright pinks, the bright greens, excuse me, your yellows, you know, like just your bright, fun, summery colors. All right, so all we're doing is we're gonna just paint the outside of this. I'm taking my makeup sponge. You could obviously use like a sponge brush, but I just like painting with these. And we're just gonna start covering. It's gonna probably take a couple coats, but we're gonna try to do our best to get this first base coat down, let it dry while we work on some other things, and then hopefully our second coat covers it a lot more. I mean, it doesn't have to be like perfectly covered, but I don't want you really to be able to see through the paint. I'm going to need a whole lot more paint than that. And I will show you why here in a second, because I have a game plan. We're gonna be sticking some skewers in here with some palms and just make a really cute little piece. But we need a whole lot more paint. So I am using an acrylic paint to do this. They do make glass specific paint, but acrylic works. So I'm an advocate of use what you have. So I am using, the color is Sour Apple. So it's just a really like bright green, but you could use any kind of paint you wanted on here. You could use chalk paint if you want like a really like matte chalky like finish, which is cool. Or whatever, you can use whatever. You could even spray paint them. I'm just like slowly rotating around here and we're gonna get this covered. And then once we do that, we'll get to move on. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Like I said, I had a pretty good day so far. It's still fairly early in the day, but so far so good. My morning volunteer at the senior center was cool. They had some oven baked chicken and what else was on the menu today? Oven baked chicken and veggies and some kind of pie. Right, so if you guys aren't aware, we have here in the town that I live in a local little senior center, which is really cool. And a good friend of mine actually is the director of it. So when I left the corporate world, after, I don't know, not even a month, I don't think, you know, got to do something to occupy your time. And it's always nice when you can occupy your time helping people. So I started volunteering there, and my job is, I'm basically like the hostess. So the idea is that our seniors will call in and make, you know, like a reservation, more or less, just so the kitchen staff knows how much and what, you know, to make and this, that, and the other. It's helpful. So they have them call in to like sign up, and I am the one who takes those phone calls and then, you know, writes them on the lists and all that good jazz. Along with a few other things, I had to make some, what did I make this morning? Oh, I made some iced tea because they, you know, along with their lunch, get a drink. So they offer lemonade, iced tea, regular coffee, decaf coffee, and water. So a little bit of something for everybody there. And so that's kind of my job. My main job anyway is doing that. And then I help do whatever else they need done. But it's cool. We had a fairly busy day. Thursdays are bingo day at the senior center. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love me some bingo too. But bingo days at the senior center are popular. So we had like over 40 people actually sign up for lunch today, which is great. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit there for a minute and scoot this over so I don't make a mess and let that start to dry. And while our jar is drying, I want to, okay, so other thrifty finds. I found this, my daughter and I went to the Goodwill bins, and it's this huge, I mean, how many are in here? And I don't know if they're all in here, but they are, apparently there was like 100 to begin with, and it's still pretty full. But they're bamboo skewers, you know, like what you would use to make like shish kebabs and that kind of stuff. So I thought, you know, that's always a cool thing to have in your craft stash. And at the Goodwill bins, they're like, you know, super inexpensive. Let's get another piece of cardboard out here. So I grabbed a couple of these, and then I had a few of the longer ones in my stash. So I'm going to do a few of the longer ones and a few of the shorter ones. But I don't want them to be this natural color. And again, you know, like, so what, I got 4, and let's do, how many of these do I have? Let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need like 6 of these. And if we don't end up using them all, it's fine. I can always use them for a different project or repaint them or whatever I gotta do. But I'd rather just paint them all at once in case we do decide we want to use them all. So I'm just sticking them kind of here's and there's on my paint mat, which is a fancy piece of cardboard with some painter's tape on it, but it works. So, I thought about doing the antique wax, but I think I'm just gonna like water down some brown paint. All right, so I'm gonna take this milk chocolate, just kind of like a medium brown, add just a little bit, we don't need a lot, just a little bit into another one of these little vessels here, squirt some water, get a trusty little brush, kind of mix it up a tad, and just give it kind of a base coat, just to give it a little more color. I mean, the natural isn't terrible, but I just want to do something else to it. All right, and so we're just going to like lightly coat it. And I mean, like I was saying, it's not going to be super dark brown, but it is going to kind of give it a little bit of color. And so there's that. And it dries pretty quickly, I'm hoping anyway. I've never actually, that's not true. I've painted skewers before, but I don't know if I've ever done it with the watercolor technique. And honestly, we don't even need to worry too much about the bottom part. We mostly just want to focus on the top, but I mean, while you're doing it, you might as well just do it, right? So, thrift store find there. Goodwill bins are such a fun time. We found a bunch of cool stuff. My daughter likes to focus more on like the clothing, and she's gotten into scarves and that kind of stuff, so she likes to focus on that. Although she does love finding some stuff for me to craft with too. So we just have a great time. It's a good mother-daughter experience. All right, so I'm just gonna keep going. I had to run away, but that's okay. We have to do the whole thing anyway, so. Painting away. But yeah, she found some really cool, like, clothing items, and I don't know. So we came home and we got all that processed. We always do, like, a double wash with our clothes, because you just never know where they've been and who else has touched them. So we always double wash our thrift store clothes finds. And then depending on what the craft finds are, sometimes we'll Clorox wipe them or Lysol spray them or something along those lines, just to make sure we're not bringing any unnecessary germs. But most of the craft stuff is pretty easy to wipe down, so obviously it's not going into the washing machine. But anyway, we got like that all done and put away and all that jazz. So when did we do that? Was that yesterday? Yeah. No. Tuesday. No. Gosh, my days are like totally running together this week. Oh, I don't even remember, y'all. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday this week, so either yesterday or the day before. I think it was Tuesday. But anyway, it was fun. All good. They have like the craziest hours. I don't know if you guys do like much, if you've ever been to like one of the Goodwill bins, but it is like a free-for-all. I think I've told you guys about it before. It is a blast. It's like a scavenger hunt mixed with thrifting, and it's just a good time. But so they have these like huge blue bins that you just go through. There's like, I mean, they kind of keep, you know, like the clothing in some and like the housewares in some. There's like a slight organization to it, but not size, not brand, nothing. It is like literally a free-for-all, and it is just a hoot. You just never know. Gonna need a little bit more of this brown paint. Finish up our skewers here. But we're getting there. All right, so I think once you guys see this all put together, this would be a really cool project for, I've noticed, and I even did this, 7 years ago when I got married, did a lot of my own, made a lot of our like wedding decor. You know, obviously I had a florist do like the big florals, like my bouquet and the guy, or no, I made the guys too, but you know, like some of the big florals I had a florist do. But I made a lot of our wedding decor. It saves you a ton of money, plus it's just personal, and I don't know, as you all know, I love to craft, so it was just fun. Okay, a couple more little coats, and then we'll let this completely dry, then we'll get back to our green. We're just kind of going back and forth with our painting right now. This, you know, like I was saying, the skewer part is like not totally necessary, but I think it's gonna be cool, so I'm doing it. Okay, those all look good on that side. All right, so let's just kind of set this over here out of the way for a minute. Let's get back to our green, because this first layer should be pretty dry. Yeah, we're good there. Okay, so round around we go again, and we should get much better coverage the second time. Much, much better. Although I am going to need more paint. Let's just go ahead and get that out now. All right. And here we go. But yeah, like I was saying, like I think this general idea, obviously, you know, like you can customize it to whatever your colors are, would be really cool if you were doing like a big party like that, like a wedding or even a graduation with all, like, you know, the high schools getting out and people having graduation parties. This is a very inexpensive way and fun to kind of do some of your own party decor. Just go to your local thrift shop, grab you some jars, and they wouldn't even all have to be the same like shape and size. You could like really mix it up, make it fun. Just find some inexpensive glassware at your thrift shop and paint away. Green is looking good. Looking good. And craft paint is not expensive, so it would be a very, very cost-effective way to decorate your party in a very personalized manner. And you could even do it for any party. You could do it for a birthday party. You could do it just for your summer celebrations. Whatever you want to do, you know? And then in the fall, you could mix it up. This would make for super cute, like, little centerpieces for, like, your Thanksgiving table or whatever. Whatever you are celebrating. A little bit more green. Might have been easier to just directly put it right on the glass, huh? Too late for that. And just keep going. Might have been easier to do with a brush, but I just love my, I love the look, like the finish that the makeup sponges give me. So as long as I'm not doing anything really, really big, I like to use the makeup sponges. I just like the finish with it. There's no lines, there's no streaks. And it dries like fairly smooth and flat, and I don't know, it's my go-to. it is. We are gonna do a little bit more decorating on this jar. So like I was saying, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't want you to be able to see through it because we're gonna end up putting those skewers in it, and I don't want people to really be able to see the skewers. If you didn't care, it wouldn't matter. You could also fill it up with like some rice or like that paper filler if you wanted to hide them a little better, but since we're already painting it, I figured we'd just do that with the paint. All right, looking good, except for I kind of smudged up the bottom when I was rolling it around, but that's okay. Okay, I am gonna actually hit this with a little bit of heat so I don't smudge my bottom anymore than I already did. But it's okay, we can fix that pretty painlessly. All right. Okay. That looks good for our second layer. It really does, it looks cool. Okay, let's set that here. Scoot that over, let's roll our skewers over, and we can start putting these together. Okay, so we got that side of the skewers nice and coated and they're dry, so we're just gonna rotate them over and do the other side right quick. And apparently get paint all over me in the process, but that's fine. Okay, so down you go. Down you go. You know what would have been kind of fun is to like put this paint in something and we could have rolled them around. We would have made a big old mess on our fingers, but you know, why not? And I might actually do that with these. That way I can make sure, well, not in a container, but make sure that I get them coated. All right, so back to it. Let's get at it here. I'm just gonna hold the very bottom part because obviously you're not gonna see that. And let's just make sure we get this good and like stained. You could use a stain too. I actually thought about doing a wax stain, but they take a little longer to dry, so I thought this would just be faster. But they make so many different pretty stains these days that you could definitely do that. All right, that one looks good. Let's finish you. Oh man, if you guys don't live around here, tell me what your weather is like. It is insanely hot where we are here, and I wouldn't even say it's necessarily hot. I mean, it's like, I think last time I looked like 91, and don't get me wrong, especially if you're not from the Midwest, that's hot. But not as hot as it's gonna get, because our summers around here get pretty warm. But it's just crazy humid. You go outside and it's just like, ugh, I don't wanna be out here. It's hard to breathe and it's just no fun. So today is the perfect day for some crafting. And I need to spend a little bit of time in here organizing some crafts. I got some new product in the mail, so I need to open up some boxes and put some things away and come up with some projects to do, which is always fun. And nice and cool, because today is not the day to be out there like mowing grass or pulling weeds or any of that fun. Unless you did it very, very early in the morning, which you could have. That's what I'm gonna have to start doing, getting up like, well, I mean, I get up fairly early, but getting outside fairly early and start to water my plants in my garden, because you don't want to do it when it's this hot outside, but you also don't want to not do it because then your plants are going to get all sunburnt and sad. All right, a tad bit more brown, and that should take care of it. We just have a handful more to go here. Mix, mix, mix. But this is like this technique with the water and like the acrylic paint isn't brand new by any means, but it's kind of a fun, like inexpensive and safer, I guess you would call it, way to stain wood. I mean, it's not quite as sealing as true like wax would be for your wood. So depending on what your like plan is for your project, maybe it wouldn't be ideal for you. but it has, you know, I mean, it's just acrylic paint, so it doesn't have that like stain smell, so you don't have to worry about, you know, like wearing a mask or doing it outside, because some stains are just really, really stinky. Really, really stinky. And so if you got any type of like respiratory concerns or anything like that, this is an awesome option for you, and it dries fast. So you can make quick work of your staining. And if you've got a larger project, I know I've shown you that technique before where you take, you know, like your, like a damp paper towel or even like a Clorox wipe or something like that. And you can wipe it down and stain them pretty quickly that way too. But hold the right end. All right, here we go. We're almost there. Painting some skewers. So if you guys are hopping on live, be sure to say hello. I always appreciate knowing who is watching my video. If you guys are on the replay, you can obviously say hello too. I will see those comments later. But what I was getting at is if you are watching this on the replay and you have now grasped exactly how to paint your skewers, you can always hit that little like skip button and skip about, I don't know, 20 seconds or so and get to the goods. But if you're live, you get to hang out with me while we do it, which is fun though, because we can chat. As long as I can see my comments. Sometimes comments are a little elusive, but. So if you have commented and I have not recognized you, I do apologize. I still love you, I just maybe can't see it. I'm focusing on getting these things painted right now. Let's go in and just kill it here. Get her done, right? Get her done. But I was thinking when I first started like putting this together, obviously I'm going to be using it more for like some summer decor. I think it's going to look cute in one of my like little tiered tray areas, just for an extra little something, a little pop of color. But I was thinking this would be a really cool, I think I was telling you about like some of the ideas I have, that a really cool way to like, you know, decorate for weddings or parties and all that kind of stuff. And then it's completely customizable. You can do whatever color you want. Obviously, you don't have to do, you know, pink and green. But to go with my summer theme, that's what we're doing. But, you know, if your wedding colors were purple and gray like mine were, you could do purple and gray. If you can find the palms. And I'm sure you can find palms in any and every single color. Or you could use something else. But these palms, I think, are going to be cool. Okay, I am happy with the way that that turned out. Okay, so in the water the brush goes. I'll rinse it out later. I'm kind of scared that these things are going to roll around, so just going to scoot them over here for a second. And, all right, take a drink of my water. And let's check out this green. It looks good. It really does. I could maybe add a little bit more up top, but I think I'm actually going to end up putting some twine on top, so I'm not too terribly concerned about that. But no, this looks cute. Okay. All right. Done with the green, at least for now, unless I see a spot that I really, really want to redo. So I have an idea that I'm hoping works. It should, to add a little extra pizzazz to the bottom of this. Could keep it classic if you want, but I want to see if this works. So I want to do what I like to call dip dots. Just a few of them here and there. So I'm going to take the base of a bigger paintbrush, and I'm going to use this pink because this pink matches pretty close, not exactly, but close enough to the palms that I'm going to be using. All right, so we're just going to open up our cap and just kind of dip in and do like just a few little dots, just to add like a little extra excitement to it. Totally unnecessary, not required, but it makes it just look cute. And when I do it, there's absolutely really no rhyme or reason to it. You just dip in and you dot. And then when you're done, you look at it, and if you're like, that spot needs more, you dot more. And if you like it, then you're done. Should be coming around the bend here. But I'm thinking about doing I mean, obviously this is going to go along with my summer, but I'm thinking about doing a like watermelon kind of theme in my entryway. I usually try to do like a theme in my entryway. And I mean, summer's theme enough, but thinking about kind of doing a watermelon theme. So I was thinking that this might be kind of fun for that. Okay, that is that. I'm going to take a little piece of paper towel, a very little piece of paper towel apparently, and just wipe off that edge. So our paintbrush is back to clean and can go back in my bucket of brushes. All right, our jar is looking really, really good. So let's set you over here. I guess I could leave that on there just in case. But jar is looking really, really good. Don't you think? We just added a little bit of polka dots here and there just to like spruce it up a little bit. All right, now let's hope that our skewers are dry. Mostly dry. Let's hit it just real quickly. See if we can't get them to fly all over my desk. Dry, dry, dry. Awesome. All right, and then we can get these on here and off of there. And we are done with that. The painting portion of the project is complete. So let me scoop this up here. You guys can still kind of see it, but not really well. I'm going to leave that there. And then let's get to this. Okay, so another thrift store find, which I actually was given. So I have a friend who works at, and I've been actually kind of helping out with them too. I need something to put these in. Let me grab one of these coffee cups. I've been actually like volunteering and helping out at the thrift shop too. So whenever they get like some just random like little craft supplies that they don't think they could probably sell, or they just think that I would like, they've been giving me some. So I actually got this strand of palms, which is like a garland, you know, although I got it all wadded up, but a garland of palms, which would be really cute on, you know, like a little tree or something along those lines. But let's make this faster. What are we doing here? But I am going to use them in kind of a different way, I think, I hope. But I'm going to only use the green and pink. I'm going to keep these orange ones in a little baggie and probably do something fun with them closer to like Halloween time or even fall. But yeah, later. I'm not going to use them for this particular project, although you could. That's some cool string, which I don't need. We'll just get rid of that. You can't save everything, right? I mean, I guess you could. We could have done something with it. Okay, and now we're going to take our skewers and we're going to do, let's sort them back out. I kind of went all willy-nilly with it, but I want to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to do, and we're just going to shove these skewers in here. Like so. And they've got like a little foam in there, so they should stay. Carefully, you don't go all the way through. And if you do, just back it back out. Like so. You guys seeing the vision here? Are you seeing it? And so we're just going to poke these in here. Just a fun, inexpensive way to just add a little bit of color, a little bit of pizzazz to whatever you're trying to decorate. So I'm doing 2 of the green and 2 of the pink, and they actually go in this foam really well. You just twist, like I said, just try not to be overly zealous and stick it back out. And if you do, you just pull them right back down. It's no big deal. In they go, in they go. Cool. Cool. All right, now let's do some smaller ones. I'm trying to find the hole that the string came out. It makes it a little bit easier. But, I mean, the skewers are pokey, so they're going to be fine just like that. And that, my friends, is why we were trying to get the 2 different sizes. We could snip some of those taller ones down a little bit too, if we want. Well, let's just see what it looks like once we get them kind of like stuck in here. All right, and a few more to go. Not 100% sure if we're going to need all of them, but we're going to go ahead and put them in there. Why not? We have them. We painted the skewers. We might as well use them, right, y'all? Okay. And then I was thinking about maybe adding, where's my hole? There we go. Maybe adding a little bit of like faux greenery in there too to fill it up. But if I use all of these, I'm not really gonna need that. Okay. All right, so like I said, you can totally vision this with like your own color scheme and whatnot. And it's just like a fun little like addition with a little bit of color. Very, very inexpensive, and you could crank a ton of these out like quickly. Okay, there's my taller ones. Let's kind of spread them out a little bit. We may not, in fact, need this many. That may actually be like way too many, but we're gonna see how we like it. And it would be cool if I could get some to kind of like tilt like that. And once you get it like where you're going, obviously you can like mess around with it. But this is what we have so far. This one needs to kind of go up in the air a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can't like angle it this direction. Yeah, see? And you just mess around with that however you want. Gently tap her down. And you have kind of it filled in. I don't think I'm going to need the greenery with it. I think this is going to make a cute little, super cute little addition to my tray. So just to go ahead and kind of finalize it, I'm going to, oh no, I forgot to plug in my glue gun. That's okay. This thing heats up pretty fast. So let's do that. And while we're doing that, let's pick out what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a little embellishing on it. As you guys know, I love to wrap my jars with jute. So we're gonna do like some jute wrap around it. And I also got from my friend this huge bag of like all kinds of, some of them are like clip-on earrings, some of them are pins, just these absolutely beautiful little like embellishment things. How cool is that one? We're gonna definitely have to find something fun to do with that. But I thought it would be fun. There was one particular one that I thought, I kind of like that one. It's pretty bright. And again, like I think you could probably find a bag of these like charms very inexpensively if you can't find them at your local thrift shop online. And how cool would that be to add too, especially if you're doing, these black ones are really pretty too. It's not really gonna go with my motif, but aren't the black ones cool? So which one do we want to do? I'm really thinking I'm leaning towards this one. It's got a little bit of sparkle there, but not too much. That one's just a little big. But yeah, how cool are these little charms? Ooh, I really like the one with the flower too. So many choices. But I think I'm going with that one, primarily because it's also flat on the back, and I think it'll make it a whole lot easier for us to glue. Okay, so let's throw our fun charms. Gosh, these are so cool. Back in our bags so we don't lose them or step on them or anything wild and crazy like that. But I'm wondering if these are things that people maybe would use to, this is a clip-on, gosh, have you seen a clip-on earring anytime recently? Remember the old clip-on earrings? This is a clip-on earring. That's really fun, but it's kind of dark for this project. I like those too. Okay. So back in the bag we go. But like I was saying, I'm sure you could buy like in bulk a bag of these type of like mixed charms if you were doing like a, you know, wedding or even like an anniversary party or something like that where you're gonna want, you know, like a bunch of them. But I only need one today. You guys see that? I like knocked my poor glue gun down. All right, and just like that, our glue is hot. Wonderful. All right, so I think I'm gonna take these out for now and stick them right over there while we decorate this up. I'm hoping my dots are fairly dry so I don't smudge one. They look pretty dry. So I think we're gonna be good to go. All right, let's kind of spin this around and see where do we want our charm to go. Is there any particular front, back area? I like this as my front, I think. Yep. Okay, so if that's the front, that means this is the back. All right, so here we go. We are going to just add a tiny little dab of glue here so we can get our strings started. I should be using my, ouch. I should be using something to press that glue down. Let me grab one. I like to use my little squeegees because they're silicone so the glue won't stick to them. But you can use really anything. The key is to just not burn yourself, okay? Because as we know, as I always say, hot glue is hot. Okay, now we're going to do our best to hold where there's not one of our dots, just in case they're not totally cured. And we're just gonna start wrapping around the jar. Let me go around it a couple times to make it kind of thicker. But we're just going to keep wrapping and kind of pressing it down as we go. Just keep wrapping and wrapping. Push it down, make sure we don't have any of that green coming through, but you do want to make sure you kind of pull it tight. This actually is working out really well. Just spin, y'all, spin, spin. Cool. All right, I'm just gonna keep pushing because I don't want too much of that green to show through. And jute's cheap. You can find it a lot of times too in thrift stores. I feel like people maybe like start a craft and then they don't want to hang on to all the extra supplies, so they'll donate them. Thrift stores are great places to find craft supplies, you guys. You can get a bunch of like unique and really cool things, especially like those, I guess like jewelry pieces or embellishments, whatever you want to call them. Those are really cool and really fun to get at like local thrift shops. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue here to hold this bad boy in place. Kind of in place. Add a little bit more so we don't lose it. Just press until it starts to dry, and you just kind of clean it up. And like I said, it does not stick. Too bad. Okay, now what we need to do is trim this up right along there. Make sure it looks okay. And I might actually, because now that I did it, I really kind of like this front piece, but I would need a bigger one. No, I'm going to stick with the original plan and just put it right here towards the bottom. Okay, so let's do that. You can put them all around it too, for that matter. All right, so we're going to just take a little bit more of that hot glue and put it right on that edge where we kind of finished our string, so we hide that. And tilt it so it looks kind of straight. I wasn't really paying that much attention, but we got it. We got her fixed up. Okay, and you could put these things all the way around them. That would be kind of cute if you wanted to add a little bit of extra, but where it's going in my house, you're not really going to be seeing all of that, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, and now, here we are. Might go back in and add a couple more little dip dots around here. Fill in that neck now that I can see that it could use a little extra. Let's go ahead and just do that. And then all we gotta do is put these palms in and we are done, y'all. Done. Okay, so let's just put a couple more up here just to fill in some of that space. That is a terrible dot. There we go. Fortunately, it's in the back, so no one can really even see it. But if you have one that looks kind of like funky like this one, just go over it again. Maybe it'll be a little bigger, but at least it'll be round. And I don't like to overdo it. Less is more sometimes with the dots, but you know, you want them to look somewhat even. Okay, so I'll dig my little piece back out of the trash since my trash is empty. Easy to find. and we're good to go. Okay, for real this time. I set that over there because I've got some cleaning up to do with that jar of paint. And back in we go with these. We're just gonna shove them all in at once and rearrange them as we see fit. For some reason, all the pink went to one side and all the green went to the other side. All right, mix it up, friends. Mix it up. I want the bigger ones to be kind of in the back, and I want the smaller ones to kind of like cooperate. You could shove a little piece of floral foam down in here too if you wanted them to be like super sturdy. But once I set it where it's gonna go in my house, it's not gonna move. But I think you guys hopefully get the idea. And just a cool little piece to go with my tray. Like I said, we're gonna have to like kind of futz with these and get them to look exactly where we want, but it's gonna look super cute with my watermelon / summer decor once we get them to sit nicely. And yeah, you just kind of like take them out and just kind of shove them around, mix them up, just, you know, like you're decorating some flowers. And here we are. We might need to get this one up a little bit taller. And we'll just move them around once I get them set down, right? What do you guys think? Pretty fun, huh? So we took our 50-cent jar, painted it up, add a little bit of jute, a little embellishment here, all of which came for free. Added some skewers that I got from the Goodwill bin, so essentially for free, and then the palms that someone gifted me. So we made this on a super budget, but it turned out really cute. And all, you know, obviously you could do it even red, white, and blue if you can find the palms, and I'm sure you can find palms in almost any color. You can make it in any theme you want. But just fun. Just a little added something to put next to my summer tray. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope I inspired you to make some decor. Go out there and get your thrift on. See what you can find. You never know. It's cool. I highly suggest it. It's fun. All right, y'all. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. I love each and every one of you. And we're going to do it again soon, probably sometime tomorrow. Not exactly sure on what time, but sometime tomorrow, because I got my thrift store hours tomorrow. So it'll probably be in the early afternoon. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, do something awesome, be awesome, and yeah, we'll see you soon. All right, bye, guys.